Thanks for tuning to the Ontario ReShard Show. Today we have a music artist emerging from Atlanta, Georgia, known for her soulful vocals and emotionally resonant songwriting. Her music reflects both vulnerability and conviction, rooted in authenticity and a deep commitment to her faith. Here to talk about their new single, God Begotten, and more. We have the one, the only, Karmyn. How you doing, Karmyn?
Hey, how are you?
Doing great. I know we have some little technical difficulties, but we're here. We're gonna make it through it. I
Yes,
promise.
yes, yes. Let's go.
Yeah, it's definitely an honor to have you with us. I know you could have been doing anything else, so we definitely appreciate you sharing your time.
Thank you. I'm definitely excited to be a part, to be thought
Mhm.
of, It's a lot of artists,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
I appreciate the opportunity as well.
Yes, ma'am. And then, of course, to break the ice, who is Karmyn away from the music and the acting?
Oh wow. Carmen is a mother
Hmm.
of three handsome young men, Terrence, Trenton, and Theron, the wife of an amazing man, been knowing since
Hmm.
high
Wow,
school sweetheart,
it's amazing.
Pastor Terrence Thomas,
Hmm.
as well as a PK.
All right.
Out there, I'm a PK of Bishop and Lady Walker, Ricky Victoria
Hmm.
Walker.
Hmm.
I'm a sports fanatic. Of course, I love music,
Hmm.
writing, arts, entertainment, theater, all of that good stuff. I think I'm very well rounded.
Hmm.
Carmen's a very well rounded person.
And you mentioned that you're a PK and a pastor's wife. So I guess is there one was a lot of pressure growing up being a PK, and is it still pressure now, if any, being a pastor's wife? Because with the social media things, people be, oh, you can't wear this, you can't wear that, or you can't do your hair like this. Or, is there a lot of pressure to be those things?
Um, I would say as a preacher's wife,
Mm-hmm.
not really because I'm myself at all times. Like the way I am on the camera is the way that I
Mm-hmm.
am off the camera. So
Mm-hmm.
um I think that's pretty easy. And then he's always there to cover me. And
Mm-hmm.
I think being myself is just it makes it easy. Growing up as a PK, I wouldn't say pressure, but I would say there was a lot of expectation
Mm-hmm.
for me to do, especially singing. And I come from a family of singers. My sisters sing, but it was like, Carmen, you're going to get up there and do praise and worship. You're going to
Yeah.
be at every revival. You're going to be at every service. So I wouldn't say pressure, but I will say a lot of expectation.
Indeed, indeed. Because I grew up in a very strict family to where my grandfather, he was a deacon, and we had a lot of pastors in our family, and my grandmother was a missionary mother and all this stuff. So, every time we went somewhere, you know, somebody knew us because of our grandparents,
Yeah.
so I said, we can't do that because, that'd be embarrassment to the family. And then, of course, back then we used to get serious whoopings, So, either they get us or somebody that knows them would get us. So, we had to be mindful of the things we do and say.
Right.
Of course, as we mentioned, you're from the Atlanta area, and Atlanta is known for great food and music
Yeah.
culture. So, like, what was your experience growing up in Atlanta?
Right, because growing up here, I was actually born in Peoria, Illinois, and
Okay.
then in '98, my parents
Hmm.
moved us here to Atlanta, and we've been here ever
Hmm.
since. So everybody does say you're a Georgia girl. You went to
Yeah,
middle school
your
here.
grandfather
You're
knew
from
now.
Georgia. But growing up here was an incredible experience. Because
Hmm.
coming from Illinois, it was just like a culture shock. I remember
Hmm.
when me and my sister went to middle school here and we
Hmm.
walked into the gym and all we could see was brown faces. We were in shock
Wow.
because that's not how it was in Illinois. We were
Uh-uh.
so it was just like
Hmm.
an amazing, incredible experience to go
Hmm.
up with the culture. But I'm also happy about the diversity that I did have,
Hmm.
having, white friends, Hispanic friends,
Hmm.
Asian friends, because I grew up that way. But it was just moving here to see that was definitely different. But it was incredible
Hmm.
at the same time to see, brown people thriving. So the food, of course, is good. The accent, though, it was the accent that used to mess us up. Like,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
my husband is born and raised in Georgia. That's
Hmm.
another story. But anyway, the accent was like shouted, and what
Yeah,
you just didn't understand what they were saying. But
yeah,
now that
yeah.
I'm, older, I get it now. Having three
Hmm.
boys that are born and raised here, they kind of got the Atlanta accent a little bit. So
Hmm. Yeah, I have some family in the Atlanta area, like the Riverdales and the Jonesboro, and
hmm
pretty much spread all that out. So I definitely
hmm
been, in that culture. And it's a little different. Even coming from Florida to Atlanta, it's a little different
gotcha.
with some, some cultures. Of course, you learn the slang along the way and how people move, and but
Yeah.
yeah, it's a cool little spot to be, especially now because it's in terms of mini Hollywood per se, and a lot of things are
Right.
jumping off in Atlanta now. Um, but of course, moving along. When did you know it was time to, be a music artist? Was it somebody like forcing it upon you? Was it strictly just church influence, or do you see somebody on like TV or something that, okay, this is what I definitely want to do as a career?
Um, Honestly, I've been singing since I was 3. Like my
Hmm.
mom showed me videos of me singing at 3 years old,
Hmm.
and my name means song and
Hmm.
worshiper. So, coming from a background of singers, like my grandparents sang in quartets, my
Hmm.
mom sang in
Hmm.
quartets, my uncle sang in quartets, on both sides of the family they can sing, so
Hmm.
I feel like it was always embedded in me. But to say individually as a gift that I knew that it was for me, um it's all I could think about. When
Hmm.
people would ask me what did I want to be when I grow up, I was like, I want to be a singer. I want to
Hmm.
be on TV. Or I want to be in theater or entertainment. I wanted to do that. And so anytime I would try to put it down along the way, it was always confirmation that this is part of my purpose and my destiny. So since
Hmm.
age 3, and then
Okay.
being a PK, mom and dad had us singing the solo. Even at 4 or 5 years old, we
Yeah.
singing solos. So it's been a part of my journey, I think, from a very, very, very young age.
Hmm. And then who are some of your I guess favorite artists growing up? That's what.
Favorite artist, Brandy, of course. And
Okay.
nobody who Brandy, okay. I would say Dorinda Clark Cole,
Hmm.
of course, Whitney Houston, Kim
Hmm.
Burrell. Uh, I can go on and on, but I would say Brandy was my top favorite, and Dorinda
Hmm.
Clark Cole was one of my top favorites.
I would say probably out of the last 20, 25 guests, Brandy's came up quite a bit. So I think she's, I don't know if she know it, but she's very, I guess, at the top of the food chain when it comes
She
to those.
is.
Yeah. And
She is.
and then of course, you've released some incredible music over the years, so I want to kind of dive into some of that. Um,
Okay.
but before we get to that, I do want to talk about the new single, of course, God Be God. Like what inspired, that particular song? Because that song is a banger.
Thank you. Thank
Mhm.
you. Inspiration. So we were on Bible study one night, and my
Okay.
husband was
Hmm.
teaching, and he was just like, everybody's talking about life be life, but what about God? God be God, and He never stops doing for us. He never. So after Bible study, I was like, we need to make that into a song, and
Hmm.
so like I said, it started out with that, and then me and my oldest son, we
Hmm.
were in the room, and I started writing down some lyrics. I'm like, "Hey, listen to this," and then I want you to
Hmm.
go in the room and put your little verse to it. And it started
Hmm.
off as a really fun, playful
Hmm.
song that we was just gonna put on TikTok.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then I talked to one of my producer brothers, Terrence Nelson. Shout out to him.
Hmm.
He produced that track. And he
Okay.
was like, "Let's make this into a real song, a quality
Yeah.
song." So we did, and that is how it came about. We recorded that honestly in 3 days, if
Oh
two.
wow. Okay.
And even the process of it all was very quick. I was sitting in my closet on the floor,
Hmm.
in my
Wow.
closet on the floor, recording what y'all heard. So that is how God Begotten came about. So definitely an incredible song. And I'm glad that y'all like it. I'm glad that
Hmm.
y'all like it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you even got the notification yet, but since we received it, it's been one of the top songs on our station so far. So, people definitely loving it,
Yay.
especially here in OKC, and some of our listeners out in California, they've been requesting it as well.
Yay.
Some people, far as I think it was in Poland, if I'm not mistaken, because we have listeners all over. Somebody
Wow.
even requested it from there, so it's definitely. If you didn't know it's international, you know now.
Thank you. To God be the glory. That's so awesome. Thank you for that.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
And then, of course, like I mentioned, you've released some incredible music over the years. Some of those songs being Grace, Ready, High, one of my personal favorites, Conqueror.
What?
Um, so, you know, what I guess when you like writing songs, like what is the inspiration? Like, is it always a biography of what's going on in your season, your current season, or is it are you just picking from people that you know, or is it just strictly Bible based?
Definitely Bible based. Sometimes I do write on different experiences that I go through or experiences that I see others go through.
Hmm.
And so I gain a lot of inspiration too, like for what's going on in the world at that time. And then just allowing Holy Spirit to really give me what to say. I always pray about what to say in the writing, what to say in the lyrics, because I want to make sure
Hmm.
that I'm reaching the heart of men, the heart of unbelievers, the heart of women and children, whoever, so that it will lead them back to Christ. So it's definitely Bible based, Holy Spirit led, and then personal experiences as well as, others around me and what I see going on in the world. So
Hmm.
that's how it comes about.
Amazing, amazing. Of course, you're not only just doing the music thing, but you even been featured in some in a film as well. Alongside people like Zaytoven, who's a very incredible hit maker. Of course, Gucci Mane was part of another Atlanta legend as well. Was a part of that particular film. So, how did you get the opportunity to be a part of that?
Well, Zaytoven actually is like a big brother.
Okay.
Shout out to him.
Yes.
And at the time, he would, my dad and his pastor, they were like close friends. And sometimes
Hmm.
we would go to their church, and of course, he would play. And he still plays for them to this
Yeah,
day.
he's
And
incredible.
then we would go to them, and then he was just like, "Hey, Karmyn, I'm going to do a movie. I want you to come and do, cameo scene in this scene, this scene." And that's just how
Hmm.
it came about. And I was in the church scene though. Out to the church scene. That's it.
Yeah,
Disclaimer. But it was
it's
it
all
was
good.
that was fun. That was fun.
Hmm. And then, of course, as you mentioned, you was in the church thing, but a lot of people don't know. Like you said, he still plays at his local
Yes.
church. Even though he has all these, pop songs, R&B songs, hip hop, he still dedicated his life to God and give back to the
Yep.
community as well. So that's always big to always remember where you come from as
Yep.
well. But shifting gears a little bit, this is where we kind of get to really dig deep and really get to know the artist. But of course, if it's a question that you don't want to answer, just say pass, okay?
Okay.
All right. So the first one we have for you, when you look back over your life, what do you consider to be one, your biggest accomplishment in life, and two, biggest accomplishment when it comes to the arts?
Biggest accomplishment in life. I
Hmm.
would say being married.
Hmm.
I feel like the demographic of our age group and even just believers in itself, it's
Hmm.
just that's not something that is I would say valued. I
Hmm.
think people kind of go in and out, change it in and out here and there whenever, and longevity is just not something that people think is possible
Hmm.
with this generation. And so I think that is a big accomplishment. We've been married for going on 14 years. Again,
Congratulations.
right. And I
That's a
met
big
him
deal
in high
nowadays.
school. Okay, I met him in high school. So can you imagine? Like,
Yeah.
that's been so many years. Of course, broke up in between the time, and
Hmm.
then, that's a whole movie in
Hmm.
itself. We might do a movie on that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
go ahead
broke
and do
up
it.
or came back together. And so being married up for me is a big accomplishment. That is an
Hmm.
accomplishment for me. And I'm grateful for it. And to have my mother and father been together for going on 41 years.
Oh
So
wow, that's
we have
amazing.
a good example. And so that's a big accomplishment for me.
Hmm. And also, when it comes to your music career and acting, like, what do you consider to be the biggest accomplishment in those areas?
I feel like I'm still getting there. But if I
Okay.
had if I had to um if I had to pick something, let me think. When I auditioned for Sunday Best,
Mm-hmm.
I did make it through to like those final rounds.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and then I did the SOAR Awards. That was another,
Mm-hmm.
that is, okay, no, it's the SOAR Awards. I was
Okay.
actually on the SOAR Awards in
Mm-hmm.
2023, 2023.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big
Mm-hmm.
accomplishment because we shared the stage with, the bigger names, and they
Yes.
allowed the independent artists to be there
Mm-hmm.
as well. And I got to meet and network with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big accomplishment for me, I would say. But I do think I'm still get working and trying to get
Mm-hmm.
there.
And then, you like I said, you have a lot of hits so far, and
Thank you.
I know it's gonna continue. But when you, I guess, go do events or gigs, however you classify this, what is the main song that people request from Karmyn?
That's funny. Right now, this song "Joy" that I did, uh,
Mm-hmm.
that one,
Okay.
"Conquer,"
Mm-hmm.
and "Move in This Place," the worship
Yes.
song.
Yeah.
Yes.
You actually got a request for that particular song. I think
Oh,
it was either this morning or yesterday. Sometimes my days kind of run together, but people
wow.
still, requesting that song along with God Be God and the others. So, like I say, you definitely make an impact with our listeners.
Thank you.
Um, as you mentioned, you're a mother as well as a wife. So, what has those things taught you about yourself?
To be patient,
Hmm.
to be very patient, not feel as though I'm stuck or feel like
Hmm.
I can't accomplish things because of being a mother mostly.
Hmm.
But to be patient and allow God to just let everything come together.
Hmm.
It's not just me anymore. Now you have a family that God has
Hmm.
blessed you with. So just be patient, Carmen, and allow things to flow the way they need to flow. So that has definitely taught me patience.
Hmm.
Yes.
And then, of course, we're about to dig a little deeper now. Okay,
Okay.
you ready?
Okay.
All right. So, when you look back, what is the biggest obstacle you've had to face in your life, and you really had to lean in on your faith to get through it?
Um, I would say in the pandemic
Hmm.
when everything was kind of going bad, and
Hmm.
people were getting let off from their jobs, and I had
Hmm.
worked for the airlines for 15 years,
Hmm.
and I left in that season, and it was at that point where I'm like, okay, God, it's me and you.
Hmm.
It's me and you, me and my family, all of us, and we're trusting you with everything that we have now because husband is a businessman, entrepreneur,
Hmm.
and then I walked into entrepreneurship after that, and so
Hmm.
it was hard. I'm gonna be honest; it was very hard. Not knowing how and what when was gonna come, how we was gonna pay this, how we was gonna do that. But to be honest with you, that's been since 2020. It is now 2026, and I still
Hmm.
have not worked a 9 to 5 job. I have been working for the kingdom as
Hmm.
well as the businesses that my husband and I have with our youth sports and all of that. So
Hmm.
I've literally seen God move when we needed him to move. When something was due and we didn't have
Hmm.
it, someone would just call me out of the blue and
Hmm.
say, "Hey, Carmen, can you make me a custom order for this? Because I do
Hmm.
custom t-shirts and stuff like that."
Hmm.
And hoodies. And so anytime there was a need, God always showed up. And he would give us either right at the amount that we needed or a
Hmm.
little above. And I
Hmm.
promise you that has been happening since 2020. And neither
Wow.
one of us have worked for anyone but God at this
Hmm.
point. So that was very trying, but I could say my faith has been truly built and strengthened
Hmm.
off of just seeing how God have moved on our behalf in that way.
And that's it. The word says, he's the on time God, and you kind of got ahead of me just a touch because I was going to talk about your business. And for the people that don't know, like you say, you do make custom apparel. So can you share a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, so it was something that we were kind of just doing
Hmm.
on the side randomly for
Hmm.
ourselves, and then um just got really good at it, and so have been able to provide for some schools, Been able to provide for some sports teams as well as our own teams,
Nice.
creating like the jerseys and
Mm-hmm.
the fan wear. I also have done handbags, like Christian
Mm-hmm.
handbags. So that really
Nice.
just came about out of stepping out on faith from the 9 to 5 and allowing God to open up and unlock more gifts that He had for me, which was something that was spoken to me prophetically when I was like
Yes.
19. I didn't even know
Mm-hmm.
what entrepreneur meant at the time, but I literally have walked into that, and so that's how that came about. It became it was a hobby, and then it just became a business. So that's Karmyn All For You, the music, fashion, all that is on there, in under
Nice.
that umbrella.
Nice. 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 And then so orders, contact, everything. You said everything's on there.
On the web, yep, on that
Okay. Cool.
website, www.karmenallforyou.com. Yep.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. And then, of course, it's Black History Month. So, what does Black History mean to you, especially being in an area where a lot of different things has occurred?
I mean, I feel like it is very important for us to know where we came from, what we endured, so that we can move forward for the future. I
Mm-hmm.
don't feel like Black history should be a division or continue
Mm-hmm.
to cause discord between our cultures, because I do believe that God is calling everybody together,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of how people may view things now or then. But it's very important that our children know, hey, this is what we
Mm-hmm.
went through, this is what our ancestors went through, so now we can use this fuel to help us to bring ourselves together more now in 2026 and beyond. Because the division, I don't care for that. I don't care for black
Mm-hmm.
church, white church. I really want, and I know that God is calling for us to have unity right now in the body of
Yes.
Christ. But we do definitely need to know our history. We don't That don't need
Mm-hmm.
to be forgotten about. They need
Mm-hmm.
to know, but we also need to use it again to bring us together. So that's what Black
Mm-hmm.
history means to me.
Indeed. And I hope I don't get you in trouble with this next one. Uh, with your children, who's the most like you, and who's the most like your husband?
Oh my God. I think they're all like him. They may have little traits of me, like the oldest one. Well, I'll
Mm-hmm.
say all of them love music. All of
Yeah.
them, we'll get in the room and I'm like, all right, let's harmonize. Come on. I'm acting like Joe Jackson. Get in here. Everybody starts singing. You take
Yeah.
this note. So they do all love music. And I would say
Mm-hmm.
my oldest son is more like like he loves music. He loves to be on stage at school.
Mm-hmm.
Like tomorrow he has a Black History program he's singing in. He
Mm-hmm.
does the talent shows, but he's also like his dad. But I would say him, because he wants to do it like professionally. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Gotcha. And this next one should be an easy one for you. But who has the better food, Atlanta or PR?
Atlanta,
Okay. All right.
Atlanta for sure.
Since you chose Atlanta, what is your for a person that's never been to Atlanta? What's the top three restaurants you would definitely recommend?
Okay, so if you love steak like I do,
Mm-hmm.
Little Alley Steakhouse
Mm-hmm.
in, what is that, downtown Atlanta?
Mm-hmm.
My goodness, the steak melts. It melts in your mouth. Okay, Little
Yeah.
Alley Steakhouse, soul food. So, okay, can I be honest? My husband
Yes.
cooks.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to soul food, I got to give it to him. But if I had to say a restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
Mary Matt's, is that Mary
Mm-hmm.
Matt's? Mary Matt's, that's downtown Atlanta. They're really
Mm-hmm.
good. You're going to find brunch everywhere here, but I think
Yes.
the best brunch, hmm I don't know. Milk and Honey is pretty good. I like Milk and Honey.
Mm-hmm.
And the Breakfast Boys, the Breakfast
I,
Club, Breakfast Boys. That's what it is.
I
Those
heard
are
about
really
that. I
good.
never had them before though. I
It's
keep hearing that
really
name.
good. It's really, really good. So yes, those are my top. Little Alley Steakhouse,
Mm-hmm.
Mary. No, that's Busy Bees. That's what I meant to say. Not Mary
Okay.
Matt's. Busy
Okay.
Bees,
Mm-hmm.
Soul Food, and then brunch, Breakfast Boys.
Okay. And then, of course, looking back over your career, from when you first started as a music artist up until now,
Mhm.
what was something that you would tell your younger self? Um, I guess now, what's
To
some advice should I say?
I would tell younger Carmen to trust God.
Mm-hmm.
Because I did start off wanting to sing R&B. I
Mm-hmm.
started off trying to do that, but I knew very, very quickly, after writing maybe 2 or 3 songs, I was like, I wanted to impact lives with their
Mhm.
soul and not to just get an applause. Oh, you did a good job singing. So
Mhm.
I would tell younger Karmyn to trust the process, to
Mhm.
not give up, to not worry about people's opinions, to not doubt herself,
Mhm.
and to believe in herself.
Mhm.
Believe in herself and believe that God in her, in the gift that God has given her.
Mhm.
There was so many times that I wanted to stop because I just didn't feel good enough. I didn't feel like I
Wow.
sounded the best. I felt like nobody cared about how I sounded. You know, in Atlanta,
Mhm.
it can be very, very close. Like if you're not
Yeah.
within the group,
Yeah, it's
then
hard.
no
Yeah.
matter how good you are, it doesn't matter. You're not
Mhm.
within the group. And so younger Karmyn, trust God, trust the process, believe in yourself, and believe in the God in you and the gift that He's giving you.
Mhm.
Keep going.
Indeed, indeed, definitely keep going. And then the last one in the get to know the artist segment is hopefully I won't get you in trouble for this one either. But who do you consider to have been the most impactful person in your life that helped shape who you are today?
Impactful persons. My mother and my father.
Okay.
I've seen the adversity that they had gone through as just pastors and trying to
Hmm.
stay afloat in that way as well as at home. I seen the sacrifices. I seen everything that they gave up to
Hmm.
just do the will of God. And
Hmm.
I feel like they instilled in me a lot of just to continue to pursue and to
Hmm.
continue to push and continue to keep going. And I know that my faith was very cultivated around their experience as well because we were there with them. We seen it all. We seen it
Hmm.
all as PKs. And so I'm very, very grateful for my parents sticking together, sticking it out, and just showing us how to live holy. Perfect by no means. Like I said, perfect by no means, but definitely at the end game was showing us that God is faithful. And so
Hmm.
I'm very, very grateful for my mother and father and just for their stand for holiness.
Amen. Amen. So you survived to get to know the artist. Hard questions. Hopefully, it wasn't too hard.
They were.
Would it make you sweat? Um, but before we get up out of here, like, what else should we expect from Karmyn this year? I know you just recently released "God Begotten," which is, like I said, an incredible song. But what else should we expect from you this year?
Definitely more music.
Hmm.
Looking to drop songs every 2 months.
Okay.
So they're already loaded and ready. And so more music. Definitely going to be expanding my business with the online store. So more
Hmm.
products, expanding that as well.
Hmm.
More collaborations. And
Okay.
again, with our youth sports, that is something that we do year round. So definitely outside of singing, I'm also a coach. I coach
Hmm.
basketball, play
Okay.
basketball as well. But yeah, so it's a lot with the youth sports and then ministry as well. We have
Hmm.
online ministry and looking to launch out. We've been
Hmm.
online, but we're looking to launch out together in person very, very
Hmm.
soon. So we got a lot going on, but it's a
Okay.
good thing. It's a good thing.
And then now that you mentioned you're a hooper, what position did you play?
I was point guard and shooting guard.
Okay. Okay. How's
Mhm.
the defense though?
Actually, I won the defensive award my senior year. Defensive
Okay.
award. Went to Alabama State. I did. I was gonna
HBCU.
walk.
Okay.
Yes, I was gonna walk on the team, but I decided I wanted to pursue music, so that was the
Hmm.
end for me. So
Hmm. I'm not sure if you can see my hat or not, but it's a FAMU hat. So,
okay,
we be striking, we be striking. So,
okay,
so we always got love for other HBCUs as well.
for sure.
Um, but of course, can you share how people can book you and also how can they sow a seed into the ministry, whether it's the music or with you guys' ministry with the church?
Okay, to sow a seed within the ministry, they would go to
Mhm.
www.remnantrc.com and they can just
Okay.
scroll down to the donate button.
Hmm.
That's a way to sow to the ministry.
Hmm.
My social medias, I don't have a donate button on there. So definitely just do it to the ministry because that goes
Hmm.
back into
Hmm.
the ministry. So we can use
Yes.
that to help others, help with feeding the poor and all those
Hmm.
good things that we do to reach back into the community. So that will be the best way to sow. And just to book me, the email will be Karmyn, Carmen at
Hmm.
Karmyn, Karmyn, allforyou.com, or they can just go to my website, www.carmenallforyou.com. That's Karmyn, all the
Hmm.
number 4YOU.com. And that's how you can book me.
And they're very responsive too, guys. So definitely reach out, sow seeds, and also bring it to your town. And whether it's a conference, whether it's a concert, you won't be disappointed. They're gonna bring a lot of energy. They're gonna bring the Lord with them, and it's gonna be an amazing time. So definitely book, 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 and don't just stream the music. Go download it, download it, download it, download it, and because artists, it's more beneficial to them when it's downloaded versus just streams because stream don't really do nothing. So uh,
Right.
can't really do much with a half a penny.
Right,
But
right, right.
so definitely bring her to your town and definitely put on the calendar as soon as we get done with this. Go and make those phone calls and send those emails. Um, Before we go, would you like to do the honors of introducing God Be God to the people?
Why not? So, hey, everybody, once again, I am Karmyn. That's Karmyn. And this is my new single that I just dropped called God Be Godden. I hope y'all enjoy it.
All right, you heard from the lady herself coming up right now. God Be God by our sister Karmyn. Keep it locked here on the ReShard Show.